Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Honesty Podcast again. Thank you very much for listening. Today, pattern recognition. What does this mean? What can it do for you? And how can you use it to leverage everything that you do in life by recognizing certain patterns? So, first of all, how did pattern recognition change the way I do everything in my life? How did it help me? And how I leverage it for myself? So since I started, you know, self development, doing everything that I can to you know, go further in life, change stuff, try something out, whatever, I started seeing these different patterns in various fields of life. In the past, I was I wasn't aware of how blind I was. I wasn't aware of where am I really? Like who I am and what I do. So you can think of like this one tree that is just a tree, and a tree can't really reason itself and can't really ask itself like what am I or what is a tree. So I am that tree, I was that tree. And a lot of people nowadays are still trees or rocks, just you're just there. You just exist. You never ask yourself who you really are, what defines you, what is your you know what is your life, what do you do, whatever. You really just are there. And this is like when you are there, when you are in this situation, it's pretty all right. You don't really care, you don't really bother. But when you start recognizing and being more aware of things, this will bother you. It will bother you that you don't really understand stuff, that you start thinking of things and you don't know them. And the moment a human being starts thinking of stuff that he doesn't know or that the person doesn't know, this is where things happen in your brain. In my case, it was part of religion. So when I started thinking a lot of existence and death and different type of topics like life itself, I always had this question in me, like how really things came up, and how can something be something? How can a phone be a phone? How can a life be a life? How can an I exist? How can an I function? And then you begin, to do your research because you don't know it. And the moment you don't know stuff is the moment a human being tries to find out. Like most of the time, when we want to know something, when something is really bothering us that we don't know it, we want to know it. So we start learning about it. And was me, I started learning about religion. And when I came like more into religion, I started becoming more aware of myself. And when I started becoming more aware of myself, I started recognizing these patterns in my life. So when I was 19, I noticed that when I'm scrolling a lot and when I'm on the phone a lot, consuming, I forget about myself pretty fast. I forget about my goals. I forget about my work that I have to do. Like in that time, it was still school, so I didn't do my homework, all of that. So I recognized that. And then I recognized this pattern where, all right, too much phone means not a lot time for work, for homework, or whatever, for school. So bad grades. Bad grades meant I will feel very shit for quite a few times, or quite a few hours or few days. Feeling shit means I don't really gonna do anything again, because if you don't feel motivated, if you don't feel energy, if you don't feel dopamine, you're not gonna do anything. So it was just a spiral down. But until I really recognized that pattern, a lot of things had to happen. I had to become first self-aware, so I'm on a phone a lot. This is the first awareness that I had. And then everything was just patterns, things that happen because of other things, connecting stuff. So then I started thinking more. I was like, okay, wait. I have a lot of pickles, a lot of pimples on my face. I had a lot of pimples on my face, and I didn't really feel energetic. My teeth always felt like they were falling out, and everything was just weird at that time because I started becoming aware. I started becoming aware of the facts that stuff was not really the way it should be, I believe. So then I started cutting out sugary drinks. It's like my third year in when I don't drink cola, don't drink Fanta, whatever. I don't drink sugary drinks. So then I stopped with that and I cut it out. Then I cut out 3 months of social media, meaning I cut out the whole dopamine stuff that I was getting myself into. I only drink water, coffee, and some tea. Like, this is the only stuff that I drink. And now everything changed. I became aware of that, all of that, and then I recognized the patterns. I recognized that, all right, drinking too much sugary drinks meant for myself low health, low focus, just low everything, low energy because of too much sugar. Dopamine was always high. I always felt very dizzy and very sleepy. I know, like, doing stuff felt always so hard. And yeah, then I became aware, and then I saw these patterns, and I just connected it, and then I planned out of them. So when I got aware, which meant I sat down and I came to this realization. So this is awareness. And the next step was, okay, recognize the patterns in my life. All right, this happens because of that. Okay, this happens because of that, that, and that, that. And then find the final or fundamental cause, and I just change that. So when we talk about the pimples on my face, I came back to the conclusion and to the fundamental reasoning that the sugary drinks were the problem. So what did I do? I just cut them out. And a month later, my face was clean. Same goes with dopamine from social media. I was recognizing my dizziness, my lack of focus. So what was the conclusion at the end when I was, getting through these patterns of everything? Okay, when I'm on the phone too much, when I'm watching all these motivational videos, I'll lose motivation, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And at the end, I had this fundamental reason that social media itself is nothing that is really helping my life, helping me achieve my goals. So what did I do? I just cut it out for 3 months. So cutting it out completely, again, changed completely, something completely. So what does this mean? Like, what does it mean for you? It's really only one thing. And that one thing is, if you start becoming self-aware, you will recognize patterns. And based on these patterns, you're going to make decisions that are going to level up. Like, that are going to let you level up. So what I'm trying to say today is, you have to become more there with yourself. You have to be yourself in certain situations. Let me give you an example. The whole day goes by, and you get into the bathroom and start brushing your teeth before going to sleep. Most of us, we have a mirror before us. And what I did a few years back, like what I did a lot, is before going to sleep, I looked myself deep into the eyes. And I looked, and I just thought, what is really going on right now? Where am I? And I loved to do this one exercise, because then I stopped looking at myself again, because this was just a moment, like the start of the awareness. So what am I? Then I was done, closed the door, went to my bedroom, laid down. Then I started doing this thought game. Okay, I'm on this address, and then I just had my house before my eyes. Like I had this. I was just seeing the house I live in. Okay, so next is the village that I live in. All right, and I see the village from above, bird eye view, and then the canton or the city that I live in Switzerland. All right, in the country Switzerland. And I go back Europe, and I always see everything with my eyes in front of me. Now I see Europe, I see Italy, I see France. All right, I get back again. I see the world. I see the Earth spinning, and I get back again. I see the moon, and another step back, and I see all the planets. I see the Milky Way. Then I get it back again. Then I see the whole universe in front of my eyes. And this exercise helped me find my position again, because the next step was get back again. I need to get back to the house. So I went from the universe to the whole Milky Way, to the moon, to the earth, and then I came back to the village and to my house and to myself again. By doing this, I resetted completely everything. I was like, okay, clean plate. Now what do we think about? So when you have a clean plate, you can throw everything you want on there. You can either pick your phone up again, watch TikTok or Instagram, or you leave everything. Everything is pitch dark in your room, and you start thinking about your life. Start thinking about your existence. Start thinking about your goals, your dreams, everything around you, your family. And then you become very high aware of everything. It's a clean room. Everything is white around you. You know, there's one scene in Matrix where everything is white around Neo and what is his name? Morpheus. Everything is white. This is the kind of room you're gonna find yourself then, because everything is clean out. You're really gonna have, like in my case, I don't really have any thoughts then. So I just started picking out thoughts. All right, I know what I want to know. I want to find out where I want to go. I want to find out what I do really believe in, religious wise. What is really my thoughts about my workplace? How am I thinking about my health? What is this? What is that? And then I did this like daily. Every time I went to bed, I did this. And for about 2 weeks straight, I did that. And then what I was aware of 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after doing this, was that I was really calm. I became very cautious, and my conscience was very aware of everything. I stopped listening to music through my AirPods. I stopped using AirPods, and everything was always clear. I went out when I went out of the house, I was out there, and I knew completely what I'm doing. I knew who is there. I see a person there. I hear a car there. Everything feels so crisp and so there. So real. So this is where I realized, all right, there's a pattern again. If I don't do this exercise, if I don't become aware all the time, I will fade again. And when I fade again, things are going to go sideways again. So what does that mean for myself? I knew that I have to get myself back every other week or every week. Because at that time I really struggled with concentrating on stuff, you know. So if you struggle on concentrating on stuff, you should get behind that, you know. You have to find the cause of that. And in my case, it was absolutely this. Because I was so faded away, because everything was so blurry, and I didn't really was aware of that. My focus was bad, and so I didn't have the chance to really concentrate on stuff. But the moment I did this exercise, and the moment I started, you know, being aware of stuff, my recognition or better to say, my mind was very clear. And with a clear mind, everything becomes very easy, because it's only either patterns or decisions. So your mind always thinks like this: okay, is here a pattern that I can recognize, and what can I do with this pattern? Or is here a decision that I have to take, and what is the decision? And when you live like that, everything becomes very easy. Do you want this job or not? Do you want to go out or not? Is this a good thing for me, or should I don't do it? If I do this all the time, what will happen with me? What are the stuff going around? What is the stuff that is going around in me? Like what is this? Who is my family really? Like who are the people hanging around me all the time? What do they think about? So everything is gonna become very deep for you. You want to know stuff. You want to understand stuff. And maybe a lot of people will think, no, okay, wait, I don't want to become that way because it's really, you know, maybe you're gonna become a pain in the ass for people, whatever. Well, to these people, I can only say one thing. I believe to become successful in everything that you do in life, you have to become that person that is aware of everything, that is aware of themselves, that is aware of what is going on, what is going on. Because the moment you stop being aware, the moment you just let things become faded, the moment you let that blur in your eyes become real again, it's the moment where everything breaks down again and you have to start from ground zero. That's why I said every other week I have to make this, this exercise again with myself. So what I believe the biggest learning or the biggest knowledge place, or like knowledge, let's say it like this. The biggest If you want to go big, and if you want to go really big, if you want to change stuff, if you want to become something, you have to become self-aware, and you have to start recognizing patterns in everything in your life that is going on in your life. You have to really go out there and be very specific of what you want, very specific of where you are, very specific where you're going, very specific with what you want, everything. Because becoming very specific means you are very aware. When you're very aware, you are very, very clear on everything. Your vision is clear, your mission is clear, and everything is clear. So maybe you can try this exercise for yourself, or you can find something else for yourself. But this really helped me become the person that I am right now, and that I was a few weird years back. That helped me really recognize what I was and who I was and where I want to go. So yeah, if there is something I can teach you, then it's knowing where to go with your goals and knowing what to do with your goals, and how to become aware of everything. So maybe you want to stick around on this podcast, because this is the season finale, and we're gonna go into the next season, and the next season is going to become pretty crazy, because I have a lot of stuff planned, and it's gonna be cool, and we're gonna do very nice stuff. So stick around, see for yourself. Things are going to roll. If you become aware of stuff, things are going to roll from itself. Stuff is going to become not easy, but clear. Clear as ice. If you touch ice, it's cold. You will know that ice is cold. Let's see if you get something out from this. If you touch fire, you know that fire is going to be hot. Stuff like this is crazy. Stuff like this can become very, very deep, and will get you places that you never thought were real. You will have the power to see stuff that is planned for you. You will see stuff in advance. You will see yourself in situations, positions in advance. Because you think so deeply of things and you are so aware of things. So yeah, be aware and start thinking again. Stop being like just there. Start thinking and start being again. And have a very nice week, my friend. Keep on working, keep on hustling, and don't stop being consistent. Have a very nice week. This was the Honesty Podcast. Thank you very much for listening.